Well, thanks for inviting me to talk to you guys. Yeah, it's the return of football after 5 long months of no action in the PSL and in the Nedbank semi-finals. The final should have been over and done with. We should have been ready for the new season, preparing for the new season. But unfortunately, this pandemic, this COVID-19 coronavirus has put paid to that. And I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm worried, I'm ecstatic. I've got all the emotions, not just for Nedbank, but for the remaining part of the season, because it's been a long time since my players have played football, and we've only been back a couple of weeks following the NSL guidelines, following the COVID compliance officer, the government, SAFA, PSL. So yes, it's good to be back. Good to be back. We sat waiting now for the results from our test that we made yesterday, so we can get ready to go to camp. We did try and make a plan to play the game and then return back to Limpopo after the game, but that's been we've been told we can't do that. We've got to stay in this bubble now. Once we're in Joburg, we've got to stay in Joburg. And yes, everybody that's registered to play for Baroka Football Club will be travelling, along with the 10 technical team. And it's been a lot of hard work. I've got to thank my chairman and all the club staff that have done their jobs in making sure that we got this far. And yes, it's 3 more days, Afani, as you said, 3 more days to the Nedbank Cup semi-final, the kickstart of the final 7 cup finals for Baroka Football Club. I'll agree wholeheartedly with Pizzo, 150%. What I've had to do in the last 2 weeks is manage the players from getting injured. We cannot play competitive games against other teams. We've only got a small squad, so 11v11s have been very rare because my players are not ready for it. And Mark, I'll tell you what, 5 months out of football without kicking a ball, coming back for 2 weeks and having to restart the season with the semi-final, it's going to be tough. And I've just got to manage my players' health and mentality the best I can for the next 5 weeks when we go into this bubble after the weekend's Nedbank semi-finals. There's loads of concerns, there's loads of issues, but on the football side of things, the first questions I ask when the players arrive at training: good morning, how are you? How are your legs? Do you feel tired? Do you feel any muscle strains or any, injury possibilities? That's the norm now. That's the norm. We've got to make sure that I ask the personal questions. Are you okay mentally? Are you ready to practice today? Are you okay to do it at this tempo? We've had to change everything in the training program in the last 2 weeks, and it's not being fair to my players to try and push them to a limit where they're not going to injure themselves and not going to hurt themselves. And now we're going into a game on Saturday, 90 minutes in a semi-final, so both teams are going to be at it, and it's the ones that don't lose players early in the game, they don't have to make changes in the game. And I'm hoping that I would like to say my experience in the game would count, but well, I've never experienced this ever, a 5-month break from football and then having to restart again. It's never been done, so I can't really go back and look. All I can do is watch TV on in the England Premier League, in La Liga, in Serie A, and the Bundesliga, and see what's been happening to those players. And what I've seen is in the beginning of the games, 2 or 3 games, it's taken each team, not just the top teams, but all teams, to start to play to some kind of potential that they were before. So the mentality thing in this bubble, we're going to be locked up in a hotel room on your own for practically 22 hours a day. The only time we'll escape from the rooms is for training and the games. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We're going to, they usually share a room. I don't think we're sharing. But the PSL have done the homework. They've probably asked all around the world how things have happened in the other leagues, and we just got to. It is what it is. We just got to get on with it. But you know, it's not going to be easy playing without a crowd. You know, and trying to get the best out of your players, knowing that my players are not 100% ready yet. So, hello, my friend. I've got seven cup finals before the cup final. You know, so every game is important. Not just one. Every single game is important. You know, we've got the Nedbank semi-final. Then a week later, we've got the PSL final against Amazulu. You know, so it's you know, the team selection is down to who's fit, who's ready, who I think will be the best player on the park, who I think will give 110%, who I think will manage themselves in the game in the first 5 minutes, in the first 30 minutes, in the second 60 minutes, and then in the last 10 minutes of the game. And it's something that, again, like I said, you know, we've never been through this before. And the physical restraints on the players, we've had to manage, we've had to monitor, because if we'd have pushed them too hard too early, and remember, you know, the NSL guidelines in week 1, 2, and 3 were small groups of 5 individual training week 1, groups of 10 no contact group week 2, and then week 3 we could start to play games. You know, we stuck by that. We've done everything as we can with relation to, you know, what was directed at us. And we've had a couple of injuries, we've had a couple of scares, and we'll monitor them in the next couple of days. But I agree with you there. You've got to pick your best team to win every game, but you've also got to prioritise, you know, which cup final is going to be worth the better players. Well, the success I've had as a player was amazing, you know, and the success I've had as a coach has been unbelievable. But there's a difference. As a player, it's about the team, you know, and it's not personally about me. But as a coach, it's never about me. It's never about me. My success comes from my players. So whilst it's good to be in a semi-final, until you get to the final, you've done nothing. You've achieved nothing. And that's exactly what I'm telling my players. You may never have the chance again to get to a Nedbank Cup final. You know, so this is an opportunity. You've failed twice before, I believe. You know, so I've told my players, you know, the opportunity to put yourself in the annuals of South African soccer history, in the football annuals of the world, is to get to a final. And when you get to a final, go and win it. Go and win it. Nobody remembers the losers. Nobody remembers runners up. They always remember the winners, because you'll be spread all over the world. And you've got the showpiece final of South African football shown in all over Africa, the African continent. And more than likely, they'll probably, once I put it on social media, they'll be watching it in Europe and Asia as well. So it's a massive opportunity, but it's not about me, Afani. Never has been. It's all about my football teammates. It's all been about my footballers, my players. You know, my manager's success at Leeds, Reading, Sheffield Wednesday, Blackpool, Kilmarnock, Hamilton Accies has all been about the team. You know, and we all did it for the manager. As a manager and as a head coach, it's all about the players. If they're successful, I am successful. Thank you all, guys. I hope I've answered your questions. Look, I'm scared to death. I'm waiting for my test results. You know, and nobody knows where this virus is or what it looks like. And you know, I think the phone's just rang there, so I'm hoping that's Lawrence with fucking good news. Sorry about swearing, but Jesus Christ, I'm like that. But thank you, guys.